Hello and welcome. I am Gimba Umar. Tonight, military intensifies onslaught against armed bandits in Zamfara and neighboring states, kills 35 of them and rescues 40 hostages. Activities to mark the 5th anniversary of the abduction of the Chibok girls kicks off in Lagos. Bring Back Our Girls group call for rescue of the remaining 112 girls. UNICEF calls for the protection of child rights, says that 3,500 children were recruited by non-state armed groups between 2013 and 2017 in Nigeria. And Sudan's coup leader steps down as protesters remain on the streets of Khartoum.
On business news tonight, International Monetary Fund (IMF) launches regional outlook for sub-Saharan Africa, sees more economic recovery for the region this year.
And on sports news, Super Eagles of Nigeria in easy group after they are drawn against Guinea, Madagascar and Burundi in the 2019 African Cup of Nations.
From Abuja, about 2 months to the end of its session, the 8th National Assembly releases details of its budget for 2018.
The battle to restore peace to Zamfara state continues, with the military announcing that it has killed at least 35 bandits and rescued 40 abducted persons, including children, during an operation designed to tackle banditry in Zamfara and its neighboring states. The acting Force Information Officer of Operation Sharandaji, Major Clemens Abiade, explains that 18 suspected bandits, informants, rustlers, kidnappers and logistics suppliers were arrested as troops continue to dominate the area of operation with aggressive fighting patrols. Major Abiade insisted that the soldiers conduct day and night patrols deep into the forest areas to deny the bandits freedom of action while building the confidence of the local population. According to Major Abiade, one Mohammed Iso, suspected to be a notorious kidnapper, was intercepted in Niger Republic in collaboration with security forces in that country. And against the backdrop of accusations and counter-accusations against emirs and traditional rulers in Zamfara state, a senator representing Zamfara Central believes that state authorities in Zamfara should be blamed for the breakdown of law and order in the state. Senator Kabir Murafa says that it's no secret that some traditional rulers are known informants to the bandits who now hold court in the bushes. He, however, believes that the traditional rulers can be stopped by the state government as they are on its payroll.
I would not want to say, yes, so-so traditional ruler and so-so, but it's a common knowledge in Zamfara that there are traditional rulers that are involved, there are clerics that are involved, there are politicians that are involved, there are common men that are involved. But the truth of the matter is, it is now like a loop, you know, of so many people and that are bounded together by the gains, you know, from distance. There is no traditional authority in Zamfara today as I'm talking to you. The police are handicapped, the courts are handicapped. Nobody, if I have any quarrel with you now, all I need to do, I can meet one of these informants, that is if I'm not one. I now report to the lords in the bush. And the next thing is they send an emissary to the village head or to the district head that so-so and so-so person is needed, you know, in our, what do they call it, daba, you know, where they sit in the bush. And you come, they ask you, why did you marry this girl, for instance? Even marriages. Why did you marry this girl? Because she loves me and her father or her parents, you know, gave her out to me in marriage. Don't you know that so-so person is also befriending the same girl? Well, that is our tradition. They can cane you, fine you, and ask you to release the woman to this man. And there is nothing you can do. You do it. You have to do it. They can come to the town and pick anybody's daughter, you know, and keep her in the bush, you know, for their own use. And nobody can do anything. That is how bad the situation is. And all these people that are doing all these things, most of them are on the payroll of government. Now,
the informants or the people in the bush?
No, like the emirs. The informant, that is, I'm just telling you, the people, I'm coming from where when the buying stops, the killing will stop. Do you get what I mean? Now, if you checkmate these informants and the collaborators in the cities and the towns and villages, certainly what is going on in the bush will stop.
Meanwhile, the president will tomorrow depart Abuja for N'Djamena, the Chadian capital, to participate in a meeting of the Conference of Heads of State and Governments of the Community of Sahel-Saharan States, otherwise known as CENSAD. The 29-member regional community was created by the Treaty of Tripoli of February the 4th, 1998, with 6 founding members. Nigeria joined the group in 2001. The regional body seeks mainly to create a free trade area in Africa, as well as strengthen peace, security and stability of member countries. According to a statement by the President's Special Assistant on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, President Muhammadu Buhari and other leaders will discuss political and security issues, especially as they affect insurgency and refugees. President Buhari will be accompanied to the meeting by Governors Kashim Shettima, Akinwumi Ambode, and Boyega Oyetola of Borno, Lagos, and Osun States, among other governors and government officials. The president is expected back in Abuja at the end of the conference later on Saturday. On Sunday, April the 14th, it will be 5 years since 276 girls from Government Girls Secondary School Chibok, Borno State, were abducted by Boko Haram members. To commemorate the 5th anniversary of the unfortunate incident, the Bring Back Our Girls group has held a rally in Lagos to draw the attention of the public to the 112 girls still in captivity.
Since April 2014, numerous peaceful demonstrations have been held or spearheaded by Bring Back Our Girls group following the adoption of 276 schoolgirls in Chibok, Borno State. This public outcry is one of the activities to commemorate the 5th anniversary of the incident that sparked global outrage. The 2-hour walk within the Falamo axis of Victoria Island ends under the Falamo flyover.
Our children are outside there. They should please, we are pleading. If I can kneel down and beg them that we are pleading, they should please, in the name of God, they should bring out these girls with tears, with pain of heart, with heart full of tears. They should please bring these children. They should please, in the name of God, they should have mercy on the parents.
We will not rest. We will continue to agitate. We will continue to sit out every Saturday.
The efforts of the federal government resulted to the release of 103 of them, besides 57 others who managed to escape on their own shortly after the abduction and were found wandering the forest. The campaigners want the federal government to do more than just negotiating the release from captivity of the remaining 112 girls.
To get the government to call, for example, the Chibok parents once a month is not too much, just to encourage them that we're still looking out for your girls. But one thing that the government has done is that they've put in place the process for a missing persons register. So we're asking government, and they've done the groundwork on that, so we're asking them to fund the National Human Rights Commission in the 2019 budget so that they can start that process. So if someone gets missing in Lagos today, you can go to your local government to register the person missing, and if the person is found in Plateau or Jos tomorrow, there is a database that has that record. At least that will be one positive thing out of this abduction, a realization that as a country, we don't have a way to track our citizens.
We are saying, now and alive!
The Bring Back Our Girls campaign is now a global movement as members of the international community continue to monitor the efforts of concerned institutions towards the release of the remaining 112 ladies.
Meanwhile, the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, wants the federal government, as well as insurgents and other armed groups, to end violations of child rights and offer greater protection to school children. This is coming on the heels of preparations for the 5th anniversary of the abduction of the Chibok schoolgirls in Borno State on April the 14th. The UNICEF, in a statement, revealed that over 3,500 children, mostly aged between 13 and 17, were recruited by non-state armed groups between 2013 and 2017. The UN Children's Agency says that child recruits have been used by the insurgents in the ongoing armed conflict in Nigeria's northeast. According to the statement, the numbers are those that have been verified, but the true figures are likely to be higher. It says, in addition to the recruited children, 432 were killed, 180 abducted, 43 girls were sexually abused in the northeast in 2018, while more than 100 of the abducted schoolgirls from Chibok remain missing. The statement also quotes the UNICEF representative in Nigeria, Mohammed Fall, saying that children should feel safe at home, in school and on their playgrounds at all times. We are calling on the parents and parties to the conflict to fulfill their obligations under international law to end violation against children and to stop targeting civilian infrastructure, including schools. End of quote. UNICEF accuses non-state armed groups of recruiting and using children as armed combatants since 2012, as well as raping and forcing girls to marry, in addition to other grave violations against the children. Let's examine this issue further, and we're now being joined live from our studios in Abuja by a strategic team member of the Bring Back Our Girls campaign group, Maureen Kabrek. I want to thank you so much indeed for joining us on the news at 10. Now, the agitations by your group
for having me
for the rescue of these girls has lasted for about 5 years, unfortunately so now. But how does it feel saying that in spite of your efforts, 112 of the girls are yet to return, even though over 100 have been freed?
Thank you so much for having me on your News at 10 this evening. It's been a very long journey for us as members of the Bring Back Our Girls group. It's been exhausting. It's been tiring. It's been really hard having to come out daily. You know, today makes it day 1,809 that campaigners have been gathering at the Unity Fountain daily under the sun, under the rain, to campaign for the return of our daughters who were taken away April 14th in their school, 2014. We haven't stopped. We are still out there. It's something that really every one of us as citizens of this country should sit down and think deeply. Imagine the pain of these mothers. Imagine the pain of the fathers. I watched fathers, those early days of this abduction, come to the Unity Fountain. You know what it means when you see a man break down. I saw fathers kneeling down and crying like babies just because they wanted the government to hear their cries and have their daughters back. It's been very frustrating, most especially in the last couple of years, that this current administration has chosen to be silent over the situation of 112 Chibok girls who have been in captivity for today 1,829 days, 824 days. Leah Sharibu, who was abducted in February 18th or 19th, I think, last year, who today has been in captivity for 417 days. We have Alice Ngada of UNICEF, who has been in abduction for over 400 days, and so many others. I'm able to call these names out because these are people whom we all know and whose names are out there. There's so many others who are nameless, faceless, and voiceless, and we do not know them. But our group stands in the gap for all of those who have been abducted. It's really frustrating that there has been this
if I may just button, what feedbacks are you getting from the government as of today?
We are getting no form of feedback from this current administration. Neither are the parents. The last time we met with the president, January 14th, 2 years ago, if my memory hasn't failed me, because this journey has been a long one, and you would have to pardon me because I might not remember everything fully, because we have done so much that we Even we have lost track of most of the things that we have done. One of our demands when we met with the president then and the Chibok parents was to set up a Chibok desk at the Ministry of Women Affairs, where the Chibok parents could have a place that they could always call in and make inquiries as to, are we to expect any news from you today or tomorrow, or is there anything that the government is doing concerning our daughters? They set that table up after that meeting from what we learned from the Chibok community. But that desk, I can tell you today, never ever functioned. There was nobody sitting there to man the desk, because even when the Chibok community kept going to that ministry to make inquiries, there was never anyone to attend to them. So it's been silent, and all we have been asking, even the federal government, is humanize, dignify the parents of these Chibok girls. Were it that these girls came from rich homes, you and I know that I won't be in this studio today speaking about rescue our daughters or bring back our girls.
That would be
no one would have doubted that these
that
girls were kidnapped.
But that would be a good place to let it rest, in as much as we still understand how very passionate that topic has been in the hearts of many Nigerians and even outside our country. But we must thank you so much indeed for talking to us. Maureen Kabrik, a campaign of the Bring Back Our Girls campaign group, I must add. In part two, after the break, NNPC warns against panic buying of fuel, says rumors of fuel scarcity in the country is false. Please stay with us.